You're tuning into The Josh Bernstein Show, where liberalism is a mental disorder. And Josh is the cure.
Welcome back to the program. Let's switch gears here a little bit. As you saw in the start of this segment, Obama is now in Cuba, and the media wants to talk about how he's, talking to Raul Castro, and everybody's cheering, and everybody's happy to see him, and oh my God, this historic event, and this and that. Well, I wanted to show you in the very beginning the people, the dissidents, being arrested. These are the ladies in white. Back in 2003, they formed the group Ladies in White. They would go out after church, they would dress in white, and they would protest the political dissidents. Usually their husbands are the ones that have become political prisoners in Cuba, and every other week or every week they go out and they protest. Well, because Barack Obama was coming into town, Raul and Fidel Castro didn't want the media to see that, but we have the clips where they were arresting people before Barack Obama got there. Now, Cuba is an absolutely gorgeous, drop-dead gorgeous country. I mean, if you look at it, it's lush, it's beautiful, it's got beautiful beaches, it's got beautiful architecture. It's just an absolutely beautiful place. In the 1950s, before the Cuban Revolution with Castro, it was like the Las Vegas of the Caribbean. I mean, Hollywood stars, actors, actresses, politicians, everybody would go to Havana and party all night long. They've got great music, they've got, great customs and traditions and great food. And it's just such a shame that it is being run by these two communist brothers now for the past 50-something years, whatever it's been. Now, everything in Cuba is controlled, everything. Okay? These folks wait in line for hours to go to the bank. They wait in line for hours to go shopping. They wait in line for hours to go anywhere that they need to go. They're allowed 5 minutes a day of free Wi-Fi service, and they're only allowed to send emails for 5 minutes a day. Unless it has to do something with work, then they get a little bit more time if they're using an email for work purposes. Other than that, no internet. They have no Facebook, they have no Twitter, they have no Instagram, they have nothing. It is all controlled. As a matter of fact, the Cuban media is by far the most controlled media in the Western Hemisphere. It is completely controlled by the government. These people are completely controlled, okay? Now, the reason I bring that up is because the images that they're trying to portray, the images that they're trying to show, are trying to show Cuba in a different light. They're trying to say that it's more open, and the fact that Barack Obama is there is going to help matters even more. I don't see it, okay? They have no free elections. They have no political discourse. There is no dissent in this country. Everything is controlled, as I said. Now, I want to roll this next clip because this next clip says more about Barack Obama than it does Raul Castro. Go ahead and roll this clip.
Presidente americano com a imagem de Che Guevara ao fundo. A cena histórica ao som do hino dos Estados Unidos foi protagonizada por Barack Obama nesta segunda-feira. Em seu segundo dia de visita à Ilha Comunista, ele esteve na Praça da Revolução Cubana, onde prestou homenagem a José Martí, pai da independência do país. Obama depositou uma coroa de...
Okay. This is the most saddest thing I've seen in, I think, all of Barack Obama's presidency. And believe me, there's been a lot of sad moments, okay? This is absolutely abhorrent and disgusting. Think about this for a second. Barack Obama started his presidency 8 years ago, and he refused. He refused to wear an American flag lapel pin, right? Then there's the famous picture of him with Hillary Clinton on stage, and I believe New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson and possibly somebody else, and they all have their hand over their heart, except for Barack Hussein Obama, who refused to put his hand over his heart during our national anthem. Now, you fast forward 8 years later, and he visits a communist authoritarian dictatorship. He has his hand over his heart while a communist dictatorship's country's anthem is playing in the background with a picture of a communist, murderous, thuggish revolutionary in Che Guevara in the background. It is insanity to think that somehow this president would do something like this. But you know what? I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. This guy hates America. He hates each and every one of you. Unless you're black or Hispanic or a Democrat, he wants you dead. He could care less about you. If he could kill you and murder you in the streets, he'd do it. Thank God we have a Second Amendment. Then we have the most horrific attack so far this month, or I guess you could even say this year, in Brussels. And what does he do? He spends 51 measly, lousy seconds on it. 51 seconds. That's it. And then he went back to doing what else he was doing. Partying, having a good time. And by the way, Michelle Obama's dress is 23 times more expensive than the average Cuban salary. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, I'm going to roll this next clip because this just goes to show you the arrogance, the ineptitude, the dishonesty, the carelessness, the callousness, and the coldness of this president. Go ahead and roll this clip. So as you can see from this clip, he's having a grand old time. He's probably smoking, I don't know, a Cuban cigar. I'm sure he's had a few of them already. I'm sure he's had a couple of Cuban sandwiches, right? He's sitting there hanging out at the baseball game. This is I think the Tampa Bay Devil Rays played the Cuban national team, and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays won the game. I think it was 4-1. But anyway, so he's at the baseball game, yucking it up with a communist dictator in Raul Castro. And they start doing the wave. So what does he do? He throws his hands up. He does the wave as well. Meanwhile, there's terrorists killing people in Brussels, and he's doing the wave. He could care less. Then, to top it all off, okay, remember his Apology for America tour that he did when he first became president? Well, he added to it by actually agreeing with the Castro's criticism of the United States policy towards the embargo against them, right? Saying, and quote this, "I would not personally disagree with Raul Castro's criticism of the United States policies, but it does not detract from some of those other concerns that we have. The goal of human rights dialogue is not for the U.S. to dictate to Cuba how they govern themselves, but rather to make sure that we are having a frank and candid conversation. And let's hope that we all can learn from one another." Learn what? To stifle free speech? Learn to take away people's right to vote? Learn to have a one-party communist dictatorship? What are we going to learn from that, you idiot? Barack Obama, you are a moron. You are a steaming pile of excrement, and I can't wait until you are no longer in the White House. I'll be right back.
You're tuning into the Josh Bernstein Show, where Josh covers the news the way the liberal media would not dare.
Hey, Josh Bernstein here. If you like that segment, please tune in to the full show at starworldwidenetworks.com. Again, starworldwidenetworks.com. Look for the Josh Bernstein Show, or you can also find me on YouTube. I appreciate you guys watching.